Gurudev, our next lectural video is to solve a problem on worm gear. The complete the design and determine the input capacity of a worm gear speed reducer unit, which consists of a hardened steel worm and a phosphor bronze gear having 20-degree stub involute teeth. The center distance is to be 200 mm and transmission ratio is 10 and the worm speed is 2000 rpm. Now the given data is a worm and worm gear, right? So what we are going to determine here, complete design and determine the input capacity of worm gear. What's the I want to go for complete design the worm gear and then input capacity. What is input capacity? Nothing but the power. Now determine the input capacity, nothing but power required to drive the system. Next, the speed reducer unit, which consists of a hardened steel worm. Now worm or a screw is made up of hardened steel worm and a phosphor bronze gear. Now worm gear is a worm wheel is made up of phosphor bronze having 20-degree stub involute teeth. Now is a 20-degree stub involute teeth. Normal pressure angle is 20 degree. Now what type of profile it is? Stub involute tooth profile. The center distance is to be 200 mm. The center distance represent A is a 200 mm. The distance between the shaft centers 200 mm and transmission ratio is 10. That is I, the speed reduction ratio or speed ratio is 10 and the worm speed is 2000 rpm. What is the worm speed here? That is a worm is represented as 1 and worm gear or worm wheel is represented as 2. The speed of the worm is given, that is N1 is 2000 rpm. Right? Once you write the problem once or twice, write the appropriate sketch with the notations and then write the given data, if possible unit conversions. Then what are the other data are required here? From the see that is given only the speed of the worm. I don't know what is the speed of the worm wheel, right? Then how do you determine? We know the transmission ratio is the ratio of speed of driver to the speed of driven. That is equation number 23.527. Then substitute, you will get N2 is equal to 200 rpm. Now we will go for design that worm gear nothing but I want to determine what will be the diameters, number of teeth, right, and input power capacity, power required to transmit the motion of power in the worm gear. Now go according to the procedure. First determine the dimension of worm and worm gear. As you know that first pitched circle diameter of worm is, that is D1. How do you calculate? By first estimation, right? We know the pitch diameter of the worm is D1 is equal to 8 power of 0.875 divided by 1.5, where A is the center distance, that is equation number 23.544A. When substitute, you will get 68.75, round off it into 70 mm. After that, now immediately go for calculate the module. How to calculate the module? We know that D1 is equal to physical diameter of worm is equal to 3 times of circular pitch. The circular pitch is the pi into m module, right? From this substitute, we will get module is equal to 7.427 mm. Now refer the table 23.3 for standard module. In the table it is near to this value is 8 mm. Then you will go for determine what will be the physical diameter of the worm wheel by first principle, that is physical diameter of worm gear. For the first estimation, we know the center distance A is equal to D1 plus D2 divided by 2. Then A already we know that, D1 also calculated from the first principle. Substitute here, then you get D2 is 330 mm. Now we will go for determine the first step, that is determine the standard values of the worm and worm gear, that is Z1, D2, Z2, D1, gamma and Q, diametral quotient. We know the transmission ratio from the equation 23.527. From the last term of that equation, I is equal to pi D2 by P suffix Z. As you know, the P suffix Z is, it is a lead, that is pi into P suffix X. P suffix X is nothing but M suffix X into Z, right? Then substitute, now we'll get d2 is equal to, substitute I value, normal module value, okay, then d2 will get in terms of z1, d2 is equal to 80 times of z1, right? Now for various values of z1, the value of dt is tabulated as, now we'll go for tabulate here the z1, the number of starts or threads in the worm, and dt is equal to 80 times of z1 in millimeter. Now number of starts 1 2 3 4 5 6 like that. Then according to substitute here z1 value, then you calculate d2 value, you get 80, 160, 240, 320 and 400. From the first principle, we calculate d2 is how much? 330 mm. What is in d2 value near to 330 mm is? It is a 320 mm, right? Now since 320 mm is closest to 330 mm, take the pitch diameter of worm gear, d2 is equal to how much? 320 mm, and now number of starts in the worm is z1 is equal to how much? 4. The pitch diameter of the worm, the d1 is calculated, we know the center distance, already we use this formula, back substitute that formula, then d1 you will get 80 mm. These are actual diameters d1 and d2, right? Next, number of teeth on the worm wheel, z1 is calculated here, z2 is calculated from the transmission ratio formula, then we will get z is equal to 40 teeth. Then we know the lead angle tan gamma is equal to, from the equation 23.553, you know that mz1 divided by d1, m already we calculated, z1 also we know that, d1 also we know that, we substitute, we will get lead angle is 21.801 degree. The normal module, as you know, normal module is equal to module into cos gamma, right? Then substitute, you will get normal module is 7.428 mm. Then diameter quotient q is equal to d1 by f, d1 is 80 divided by module m is 8, you will get diameter quotient is 8. Then you will go for determine other dimensions of worm and worm gear. The first dimension of worm will get from the table 23.85, the page number 23.171. Now calculate the face length, the depth of tooth, addendum, dedendum, outside diameter, root diameter of worm. Next, determine the dimensions of worm wheel from the table 23.85. Calculate face width. Now face width B in the table 23.85, the face width B is equal to 2.15 pi into pi times of m plus 5. When you substitute that value, now we will get around 59.035 mm. Now we will go for check whether this face width will satisfy the condition or not. What is the condition here? For z1 is equal to 4 starts, you know the equation number 23.564b, what is the face width should be less than or equal to 0.67 times of d1. This we will discuss in the design procedure, right? Now substitute that value, the d1 value, now you get 53.6, but how much value you got here? 59.035. Now it violates that, or it will not satisfy that, design is not satisfied. Then I will go for take the b value should be less than 53.6, then I will go for round of it. B value is how much? Face width is 53 mm. Similarly, go for calculate other dimensions of worm wheel, addendum, dedendum, outside diameter of the worm wheel, root diameter of worm wheel. Then you go for check. What you go to for check here? You know the designation of worm and worm gear is z1 bar, z2 bar, q bar, m. That is z1 is how much? 4, z2 is how much? 40, q diameter quotient is 10 and module is 8. Now from the table 23.88, there is a page number 23.174. For the transmission ratio is 10 and the center distance is 200 mm. The selected worm gear designation is this. Now we will check whether this designation is there in this table or not. In the 23.88 for the given I and A value, it is there in the table. Therefore, the design is satisfactory. Now once you calculate the dimensions of worm and worm gear, what is second step? Check for the gear, for gear 2 strength. In that you will get the input power capacity, that is what is the value, the power capacity P, right? Now as we know that which is a weaker member, the worm is made up of hot iron steel, worm gear or worm wheel is made up of phosphor bronze. Now phosphor bronze is lesser strength than the hot iron steel, that's why the worm wheel is the weaker member, right? Now design is based on weaker member. The design should be based on worm wheel or worm gear. Now as you know that we have three different type of load acting on that worm and worm gear, that is static load, dynamic and wear load. From the static load you will get tangential tooth load, right? The tangential tooth load is for circumferential or tangential tooth load from the due to power transmission, right? This is a formula we use. Ft is equal to 9450 P into Cs divided by N into R, at 23.87 B. Now in that Ft is unknown, P is also unknown, Cs is service factor, assume it is 1, N and R are the speed and radius of the weaker member. The weaker member is worm wheel, right? The N is equal to N2, 200 rpm, R is equal to R2, we will get that is 160 mm. Now back substitute, Ft will get in terms of P, 0.298 P. Next, tangential tooth load from Lewis equation. From the Lewis equation, as you know that 23.567 A, Ft is equal to, this is the formula, right? In the sigma naught is nothing but weaker member is rear worm wheel, that is sigma naught 2. How do you get this? From the table 23.96 for pass per branch, the gear wheel made up of pass per branch, that is sigma 2 is equal to 55 Newton per mm square. But in design data handbook, in the table 23.96 is given 105 Newton per mm square. Now we will go for change this value. Is how much it is? 55 Newton per mm square. Sigma naught over Mn already we calculated 7.48. What is the B value? You should take 53 mm, not 59 here, 53 mm. Capital Y is pi into small y. Here we remember Lewis tooth form factor, pi into y2. Now Cv is velocity factor. Now the Lewis tooth form factor we can obtain from the equation for 20 degrees separate 23.117, or directly we can go for use the table 23.95. From the table 23.95 y2 value for 20 degrees separate is 0.125, or you can go for use this formula, you get 0.14625. Now take this any value you can take here, approximately you get capital Y is 0.459. Then velocity factor or dynamic velocity factor, as you know that equation number 23.569b, it is 6 divided by 6 plus Vm. Again Vm is unknown, mean pitch line velocity is unknown. How do you know that? How do you calculate that? That is 5dn by 60 into 1000, right? Here we remember there's a subscript 2 is there. Now back substitute will get mean pitch line velocity is 3.351 meter per second. Then now we'll get Cv is equal to 0.642. Then back substitute to the equation the tangential tooth load from Lewis tooth equation, then Ft will get 6379.69 Newton. Now we'll go for compare that equation number 1 and 2. Now back substitute, then you'll get input power. Input power is how much? 21.46 kilowatt. Similarly go for calculate dynamic tooth load. Ft is equal to Ft by Cv. Already Ft we know that, Cv as we know that, substitute will get 11,070 Newton. Similarly wear load, Fw is equal to d2 into b into k. d2 already we know that, b also know that, k load stress factor is unknown. From the refer table 23.100 for order and steel and pass per branch, the gamma for the lead angle 21.80, it k value is 0.690 megapascal. Back substitute this equation. Now wear load is equal to 11,702.4 Newton. How do you say design is safe? The wear load should be greater than dynamic load. Now you go for calculate efficiency of the worm gear. Now assume worm is the driver and worm gear is the driven. That's why we calculated in the speed reduction ratio. You will get the worm is the driver, right? Is a 10. Now efficiency, we know that the equation number 23.604 H. From this equation, which is unknown here, mu is the unknown coefficient of friction. That is by using equation 23.5708 of 570C. It mainly depends upon rubbing velocity. Again, rubbing velocity is calculated by pi d1 n1 by 60 into 1000 and cos gamma. Now we'll substitute, we'll get 9.023 meter per second. These are rubbing velocities, a sliding velocity. So nice rubbing velocity varies from 2.75 to 20 meter per second. Then we use the equation number 23.570 C and calculate mu value. You will get coefficient of friction is 0.055. Then back substitute to the main equation, efficiency will get 85.25%. Next, the thermal rating of warm gearing or heat balance. We know that in that heat generated, how much heat is generated here from the equation 23.603a mu into Fn by mu into Fn into Vr divided by 1000. Mu is only, mu already calculated, Fn is unknown, we are also calculated, right? Fn is a normal load. The normal force, you can, you know that this is a formula, or Ft is in terms of Ft divided by cos gamma into cos alpha. Now Ft already we know that, then substitute cos gamma and cos alpha. Now you will get normal force Fn is equal to 7312.3 Newton. Next, back substitute to the main equation, we will get heat generated is how much? 3.59 kilowatt. Now after that, heat dissipated is from the equation 23.603 E, that is SCR, there is a heat transfer coefficient, and surface area, that is difference between the gate temperature and ambient temperature, and divided by 1000, that you get kilowatt. Coefficient of heat transfer, that is by referring equation 23.89, right, from the figure 23.89. It depends on the surface area. Then how do you calculate surface area? The radiating area of the housing is, we know that it's in 114 into 8 to the power of 1.7. Substitute, you will get indirectly in terms of millimeter square converted into meter square. Then from the figure 23.89, for surface area is this much. Now what is the heat transfer coefficient here? 320 watt per meter square Kelvin will get. Then assume the temperature of the gear and ambient temperature is not given. Assume that value 65 degree centigrade and 25 degree centigrade. Now heat dissipated, substitute all these values to the main equation. Then heat dissipated is how much we get? 11.904 kilowatt. Now as you know that heat dissipation is, what is heat generated here? 3.59 kilowatt. Heat generated is less than the heat dissipated, then there is no artificial cooling is required. As heat generated is lesser than heat dissipation capacity, artificial cooling arrangement is not necessary, right? This is a complete design of warm and warm gear. Now try to solve this problem also. Here there is some assumptions are there. Do this, take this assumption and solve this problem. Now these are some other formulas which are used in warm and warm gear. There's a tangential tooth load. As you know that twisting moment is equal to force into radial distance, and this is the axial load, and this is a radial load, right? Yes, thank you for watching this video. If you have any doubt, please contact to my number. Thank you one and all.